It is Bronze and Modern Gods. Welcome. I'm John.
And I'm Richard.
And we are here with you on another Monday. It's May. Richard, can you believe it's going to be May?
Yeah. Yesterday was Mother's Day.
It's going to be May. You know, that in sync thing the kids do with the memes and stuff. We've got our underrated books of the week, 25-year rule. Our main topic, we're going to be taking some viewer mail since we've been a little lax there in that area the past few weeks. But first, as always, we start with our hot book of the week. Richard, again, it's all you.
Hot book this week is Star Wars #2. This is the first appearance in comic books for a number of just foundational Star Wars characters. Obi-Wan Kenobi, who has a TV show coming up here real soon. Han Solo, Chewbacca, Greedo, who didn't shoot first, in my opinion.
Depends on how George is feeling that day.
Kinda, yeah. First appearance of the Millennium Falcon and the Death Star, and then it's some little dude called Jabba the Hutt.
Yeah, he's yellow and skinny. Not the Jabba I know.
No, yeah, they changed the concept of it for the movies. So yeah, it's a key book because of those first appearances. It's the second Star Wars book ever after Star Wars #1. And it lags slightly below Star Wars #1, but surprisingly, there's some real buoyancy to the value of the book. Now, of course, right now, the what's really causing this book to be hot is Obi-Wan Kenobi and his appearance in the new TV show, which is going to include Darth Vader. So it's going to be an exciting story. I'm really looking forward to it, and apparently a lot of other people are too. This book has a GPA for a 9.8 of $3,765, which is a monumental value for a #2 book. The #1 Star Wars book has a value of $5,800. So it really holds its own compared to #1, in my opinion.
Well, you have to remember, #1, I'm sure we've all read Star Wars #1. If not, though, it's part 1 of the 6-part adaptation by Roy Thomas and Howard Chaykin. And basically in issue 1, you have Luke, a little bit of Darth Vader and General Moff Tarkin or whatever you say his name. Yeah, thanks. And Luke's aunt and uncle and some Jawas. That's really issue 1, isn't it?
Yeah, it definitely gets its cachet because it's the #1 issue, not because of the story.
Is that Princess Leia's in it too, right? Is that where her planet gets blown up?
I
think so. It's like to show you what a badass Darth Vader is.
But the thing is, there's so many, these early Star Wars books, there are a number of variations to them. There is the regular 30-cent print. There is a 35-cent variant price where Marvel tried to get cheeky in certain markets and offer the book for 35 cents as a A/B test. There are Whitman versions of this book, other reprints. It's just a variety of different versions of this book.
Yeah, you had Whitman straight up reprints. Then you had later Whitman reprints where it was polybagged with 1, 2, and 3. Then later Whitman reprints where it was polybagged with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So some of them have a UPC, some of them don't. Some of them say reprint up in the corner box, some don't. Collect them all, kids. It's like Pokemon.
If you're gonna go for one, look for the 35-cent variant.
Tell me when you find it.
Yeah, please. It's got the square pricing box. In the 35 cents, the 5 is slightly off-center. It's one of the ways you can spot this. And it has a UPC code at the bottom. If it doesn't have a UPC code, it's going to be a Whitman, and it's not going to be as valuable as the 35-cent variants.
Buy a house.
Yes,
35-cent variant.
They are 5-figure books. If you find this in high grade, you're sitting pretty.
All right. Well, we get lots and lots of emails, DMs, comments on YouTube from you guys, and you're asking us questions and you're looking for some direction. And we're here to help with a segment we like to unabashedly call Viewer Mail.
You've got mail.
I'll start off this week. Comes from Michael Loya, who wrote to us at bronzeandmoderngods@gmail.com. With the prices of Marvel Silver Age keys are going for, many collectors have turned to buying DCs for economic reasons. But is there a Marvel Grail that is still affordable? One particular issue from the start of the Marvel Age I picked up for a bargain is Strange Tales 101 featuring the Human Torch. That sounds familiar.
Yeah.
It was the third of 4 Marvel sci-fi titles to transition to superheroes. And while Journey into Mystery 83, Tales to Astonish 35, and Tales of Suspense 39 are too rich for most of us, Strange Tales 101 won't break the bank. Sure, those other mentioned comics feature first appearances, but considering that Strange Tales 101 and 102, for that matter, came out around the same time as Fantastic Four 7 and 8, and is still cheaper buy than either of those, is crazy. It has to be considered one of the least talked about keys from back in the day. What do you guys think? And do you have any other candidates for underpriced, under the radar Marvel Grails? Michael, do you listen to this show? I have been singing the praises of Strange Tales 101 many, many, many times on this program, which I'm sure you've missed it. And that's a smart butt way of me saying I agree with you 1,000%. I pick this up wherever I see it. I got a copy when I was with Richard at San Diego Comic-Con Special Edition in November from Harley Yee. Solid 3.5. I paid $300 for this book, Richard.
That's great. That's
awesome.
Awesome.
Nuts that this book that came out the same month as Fantastic Four #7 is $300 for, it's a lower grade, but it's not coverless or detached or anything.
No, and don't, people have been conditioned to look for 9.8s. When you go to these rare books, the Silver Age books, accept the 3.5s. They're good books. Do not turn your nose up at the lower grades, because in a lot of cases, that's where you start, and then you work your way trading it up if you want a higher grade.
This book is Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. It's not Larry Lieber and Dick Ayers. It's not Don Heck. It is Stan and Jack. Strange Tales Human Torch is weird. If you've ever read them, they kind of take place in a parallel universe, a multiverse, if you will, where all of a sudden Johnny Storm has a secret identity and nobody knows he's the Human Torch. So he has to be careful where he flames on in front of his high school buddies. And they got rid of that pretty quick. I think that lasted maybe the first year of the series. But this, was a way to prop up Strange Tales, which was a mystery fantasy book, one of the Monster of the Month titles. And, kind of plugged along there for 3 years until it got replaced by the other book that I'm going to suggest is under the radar when it comes to Marvel Silver Age Grails. It got replaced by Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., in Strange Tales 135, which I still feel is also massively undervalued. It's not the first appearance of Nick Fury. That would be Sergeant Fury #1, which was always the dog, along with Tales to Astonish 35 of the Marvel Silver Age first appearances. Nobody cared. Now that book's exploded. S.H.I.E.L.D. first appears in Strange Tales 135. S.H.I.E.L.D. ran for 7 seasons on ABC network television. S.H.I.E.L.D. is in every Marvel Cinematic Universe movie. It's referenced in some way, form, or fashion, from Iron Man to WandaVision. Why is Strange Tales 135 still affordable?
That's a good question. That's a very good question.
Answer me, Richard.
I still think if I had to pick some Silver Age keys that are still undervalued, I think some of the early X-Men books, not counting X-Men 4 because, which is Scarlet Witch, but X-Men 3, for example, First Blob. I really think those books are still affordable. I saw some on eBay just yesterday for around $300 for a decent grade book. To me, that's just crazy for the third appearance of the X-Men. So, look for those, maybe not necessarily the top end keys like 4, but still first Blob, I think is a key book, and you can pick that up now while it's still affordable, but it's going to go up.
Hey, how about X-Men #7 with the Submariner Namor, where they reveal he's a mutant?
Right. Great pick. Right.
What about Tales of Suspense. I'm blanking on the issue number now with the Angel and Iron Man, which is the very first X-Men crossover with the Marvel Universe.
Right. It's there are still bargains out there. You just need to be able to be a little creative and skate to where the puck is going, not where it is.
Michael, you asked. We answered. Thanks for writing. All right. What's your first piece of viewer mail?
My first piece is from Oatme. A while ago, I purchased an FF48 CGC purple label. This was the only way I could afford a nice looking copy of the book. My restoration only had slight color touch. My question is, if you decided to buy a restored label book, does the restoration type make a difference? And if so, what one would you go for? Disclaimer, I am very happy that I own this book and do not regret my purchase because it presents very nice. Thank you, guys.
We're going to have different answers.
Number one, the only people in your life who will know the difference between a restored and a blue label, a purple label and a blue label is going to be you. So to me, it's not for those keys that this is the best way for you to afford a copy. And it's a PC book. It's a book you're going to keep. You're not looking to flip and sell. Purple labels to me are acceptable. I've skirted around looking at purple label like X-Men #1s because getting a blue label X-Men number one is pretty pricey. I want it for the PC. I'm not looking for moving it. So in that case, I consider the purple label. Now, in terms of the differences between them, it all depends. If you're buying it because you want to keep it for the PC, doesn't matter what it is. If you're buying it because you think you have an opportunity to make some money by cracking the slab, removing the color touch, for example, and then resubmitting it and getting it back as a blue label with a lower grade, then that's a completely different case. And then in that case, I would look for the minor restorations like color touch. But yeah, be happy with your purple label. There's, again, the only people who are going to know the difference are people who get book slab, and that's a fraction of the comic book community. So be proud.
Richard, you ignorant slut.
I was waiting for that.
No, I actually agree with you in a lot of respects. The only thing I can say, there is a difference between amateur and professional restoration, and it's noted on that label. It will say amateur or professional or moderate and things like that. A slight color touch depends on what it is. If it's Sharpie, pass. No, thank you. I like buying those purple books. Even if I don't do it, I like knowing that some of it's reversible. If I ever get, to the point where I'm on a fixed income and I got to do something to pay for food for the pantry because the rats are starving, I want to be able to know that I can have that color touch, if it was done with acrylics, scraped off and reslabbed and get a blue label and get a lot more money for it. I just like having that in my back pocket. Same thing with pieces added or tape, stuff like that, that's reversible. That's the only thing I would ever do with a purple book.
Yeah, I mean, but if it's for the PC, to me, if it's for the PC, the price is probably the most important factor there. You want a book that you can afford, and in the writer's case here, an FF48, FF48s are not cheap.
No.
So if you came across a purple label, somebody offered it up for a lower value, something that he could afford, and it's presents nice, other than having a purple label, go for it. It's going to sit in your collection, and it really has no impact. The whole grading stuff only matters when you are comparing with other people. You know what I mean? It really has no value outside of that arena. And if you're not comparing and selling, it doesn't matter. All it does is protects, keeps the book in a protected case.
I don't know, the OCD in me, I can't do it. And you're probably more right than I am, because I will say every time I've gotten a purple label back because I missed something, or I bought it from another dealer and I thought it was fine, which has happened with major dealers, by the way. I've sold it, and the purple label has sold every time surprisingly quickly if it's priced right. So I'm probably making it a bigger deal than it really is in reality. You know, if somebody came up to me and offered me a Hulk #1 restored for a good price, I would not poo-poo it and say, no, please, purple, like his pants? No. I'd probably do it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's got to be reversible, though. That's the only thing I will not deviate on.
Yeah, to me, first of all, full disclaimer, I have no purple label books in my collection.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So, but you know, it's because most of the books in my collection I bought when they weren't crazy super expensive.
Yeah.
So it really didn't have a factor there. There are books that I do want, like X-Men #1, Fantastic Four #1. Those kinds of books, if I saw a Fantastic Four #1 purple label, means it's going to be what, half of what a blue label book would be. I would definitely consider it.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially since it's a white cover, it's probably white acrylic paint and it can be scraped off. See, everybody wins. All right.
Some people are fixated on that acrylic.
I know. My next piece of viewer mail is from our Gmail account. And again, it's from Will Dick, who writes, "Hi, guys. I've got a question for you. I'm a big Batman fan, and I'm excited about Chip Zdarsky taking over the book this summer." It's me too. I might actually read it. For this first issue, Batman 125, he has drawn a 1 in 250 variant. I'm tempted to buy one for the PC, but they ain't cheap. They're on sale, pre-sale for $600 and up. I'm not looking to spec on it, but I also don't want to buy a copy now and find it's worth half what I paid for a few months later. What do you guys think? Well, Will, you're going to have a hard time convincing me to give you the blessing to buy a 1 in 250 variant for $600 or more. If Susie Orman was here, she would say, "You are denied, 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 denied."
For those of you playing the Susan Orman drinking game, that is one shot.
Ding. I think your gut is right, Will. I think if you wait 6 months, you will get this book cheaper. I don't know if it's going to be significantly cheaper, but I don't think it's going to be $600. I think right now it is people, Batman relaunch. It's not a relaunch. It's 125. So it's not even a #1 variant. And Chip Zdarsky drawing it. I love Chip. I love his design. I love his writing. He is not the name, like I don't know, a Peach Momoko would be, or she's over, isn't she? She's kind of over, isn't she?
It's kind of over. Yeah.
I know, it's sad. I'm saying denied. Richard?
I'm with you, John. $600 for a brand new book is, it's 1 in 20, 1 in 250, right? So that means the ratio price should be $250 for it if you're going by that meter. So it's over ratio. My expectations is it's going to sell for that. It's the first couple of weeks, it's going to stay at that $600 number. And then it's going to start going down. If you wait 6 months, I bet you find it for ratio and at $250. To me, that's where I would buy it. If you're looking at for the PC, wait for all the furor to die down, and then pick it up then for what it's going to go for at that time.
Will, what is your relationship like with your LCS, with the owner? If it's really good and the guy likes you and trusts you and you're willing to put a deposit in, I would say go to him, find out how many he's ordering. If he is already ordering 100 copies of Batman for his customers and for the pool list, see if you can tack on another 150 more and pay the wholesale to him and get your variant as a result. He might he might counter that and say, I can't do it wholesale, but I can do it for 30% off cover. It might end up being cheaper. Let's do some math, Richard. Let's see. let's say he has to end up buying 150 copies, right?
Right.
They're a $5 cover, right?
Mm-hmm.
So retail is $7.50. Let's say he's got a really good relationship with his LCS. Minus 40%. We're down to $4.50. Is that right?
Yeah.
So it's not 600.
It's not 600 if you're looking, and you also got now 150 copies of
Exactly. If it takes off, you've got spec.
Right.
Or you sell them back to another LCS that runs out, so he doesn't have to reorder.
Yeah. Think if you did that logic with Ultimate Fallout, all I have to do is buy 25 copies of #1 to get that Dejavik variant.
Talk to the owner of your LCS, talk to the manager, see if you can work something out. You might be surprised. They might be ordering 200 of them and you get them over the hump and get 250 and
I still feel patience is going to win out here on this. Most modern variants just don't have that staying power for when you get this kind of hype about them. It's sad but true. So I would definitely look at waiting a little bit.
I would take it one step further. I think really in the variant era, there are two books that are huge outliers: the Dejavik variant for Ultimate Fallout 4 and the Edge of Spider-Verse #2. They're both Marvel. They're both from when this variant thing was just starting with the 1 in 25, 1 in 50 stuff in the early 10s. Is there a comparable DC variant that has ever sold for that high?
Boy, I can't think of any.
I can't either.
No.
So, Will, it's a long-winded way with a few different approaches by it's all of us together saying, no, don't do it. Sorry.
Of course, you don't have to listen to us. If you got $600 in your pocket and you want it now, buy it.
You want it. Do
it. Yeah. Oh, that's a whole other
You're
story.
talking to two people who historically ignore all the advice we are given by other collectors.
Yes, wholeheartedly.
We're just going to do it anyway. So if you're just going to do it anyway, do it, dude. Enjoy. Life is short. Have a shot of tequila while you do it. All right. What's your next one?
My next piece is from Charlie Dog. Great show as always, Richard and John and Richard. Thank you.
I get it right, John, first.
Yeah. You're right that something is worth what someone is willing to pay for it. But because this is an emotional reaction, logic has little to do with it.
See?
Also, it's true. Also, several factors can feed into the perceived value of a thing, including greed, investment potential, FOMO, emotional attachment, and the adrenaline buzz of an auction situation. That has caught me several times. For me, Ultimate Fallout 4 is not worth the asking price, but is a different story for someone else. Incidentally, I'm with John. If I had the money, this is talking about having what was it, 15,000?
Why would you spend 15K on a Dejavik variant or something else?
Right. He said I'll take the giant sized X-Men #1 any day. Check out the Tulip Mania bubble. From Holland 1634 through 1637. Yeah, there's that whole bubble, the whole concept of the bubble is for some, the value of tulip bulbs went up astronomically, and people were trading tulip bulbs like you would trade stocks. It was a crazy kind of bubble formed by expectation, fear of missing out, all kinds of factors that had nothing to do with the actual value of just a tulip bulb, and I could see there's definitely factors of that in the pricing of some of these modern super variants like Ultimate Fallout, the Dejavik variant. Are they worth like $30,000 for a 9.8? As Charlie says here in his opening sentence, it's worth what someone's willing to pay. So as long as there's somebody out there willing to pay $30,000 for the book, that's what it's going to be worth.
Yep.
And so far, we have not seen any major slowdown in interest of this book to make me think that the value of it is going to go down by any significant amount anytime soon.
Beanie Babies. I was gonna.
Yeah, that's another one.
I almost said Beanie Babies, right? But I screwed up babies. But I'm not saying Ultimate Fallout 4 is a Beanie Baby. It might be a Funko Pop. No, I don't know.
It's tough. It's
Yeah.
because it's one of those books that old fogies like us, we predate it. So our value system is
Hold
based.
on, I'm gonna stop you before you finish that thought. It didn't stop you one bit.
It did not. But then again, to me, looking at my, it's an African American Spider-Man.
But that's an important point.
It is damn important.
It's not me. It's you, and it's meaningful to you. Therefore, the value. There are many other Richard Browns out there. There's a ton of Richard Browns out there, and they have adopted this character and driven the value up. That's why it is genuinely worth something.
It is. It is. I have paid $1,000 for my Ultimate Fallout 4 newsstand, for example.
Yeah.
At a time when $1,000 was a lot of money for that book. That's because I value the book and I value the character that it represents, the opportunities it represents, and damn it, Into the Spider-Verse was a great movie. I think it spurred on so much value in that book as well. And again, we've got 2 more of those movies coming next year. And
even I liked it.
Yeah, it was a great movie. It was a great movie.
When the Bill Sienkiewicz Kingpin showed up, I was like,
so yeah, Charlie's right. It really, just like any collectible, its value is determined by the collectors, and as long as somebody is willing to pay, the prices that people ask for these books, $30,000, for example, that's what the book is worth. And it's probably worth more because there's probably somebody else out there who just didn't know about it being for sale and would have paid 32.
I love the attitude that, Miles is a fad. Diversity is a fad. You guys realize it's been 11 years, right?
Yeah. Miles is here to stay. I think Disney has decided that Miles is going to be a major character in their properties, be it it's work with Sony in the movies or with Marvel with the TV shows, with the comic books, and hopefully with the movies coming up here shortly. So I think Miles is here to stay.
Yeah, I mean, I can't wait for rap music to be over.
No, I'm with you there. I'm not a big rap guy.
But it was kind of the same thing, people that are
crazy rap, it's going away.
They're waiting for hip hop to be over. It's like, guys, come on.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, hip hop's here to stay.
Right. If anything, rock is over. All right. Our next piece of viewer mail comes from George Maria, who writes, I've been noticing that some of my Marvel issues don't have a Marvel sticker that would include a digital code. I called Marvel. Good on you. Call them.
That's awesome. That's proactiveness there.
And they told me there are some processing issues going on, and they're working with their printer to correct ongoing issues with digital code sticker errors that have been going on. So they say, all issues will be missing the coupon for that run again, so they say. In your view, does this change the value of the issue, like missing a Marvel value stamp? Let me know what you think. Well, if the entire run is missing the sticker, as they are claiming, then no. It's a production error. It is what it is. CGC does note on the label if a digital code sticker has been removed. They say they do not knock the grade for a removed digital code sticker. So you could conceivably get a 9.8 with no sticker. It will, however, say Marvel digital code sticker removed. Would that drive me nuts as a potential buyer? Absolutely, because I'm OCD John. It's got to be the way it came off the printer.
Yeah.
I have heard stories that if you are sending a book in to be graded that is missing a digital code coupon, if you buy another book from the same month and peel the sticker off and rub a little Elmer's glue stick that you used in elementary school on the back of that digital code sticker and you stick it right back on that thing, that you'll get away with it.
Ooh.
I don't know who would say such a thing, but I've heard.
Wow. Wow, your sources are
I
very
will not reveal my sources.
to me, the whole digital sticker thing is, have you ever used one of those?
When they first started, I remember, because when I tell you the book I did it to, you're going to roll your eyes at me. I wanted to, first of all, I don't know about you guys. This is where Richard and I think we deviate on this. I cannot read a physical magazine or book or comic anymore. I can't. I just can't. I got to hold it with my hands and I got to hold it up and turn pages. No, the iPad has completely, absolutely spoiled me. I am a swipe guy. So I'm still buying comics. I love Howard the Duck. Well, you've heard me talk about it many times. Chip Zdarsky, who we talked about earlier, relaunched Howard the Duck. First appearance of Gwenpool in Howard the Duck #1. I peeled that sticker off because I wanted to read it. Now, I didn't know I was going to have to jump through 85 circus hoops like I was a dog in the Ringling Brothers to redeem the code at the time. You had to go to marvel.com, sign up for an account, go to Comixology, blah, 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 blah. So yes, I have redeemed a code in the past.
Okay, I am like you. I have difficulty reading physical books anymore.
Oh, I thought you were still a physical.
My eyes, it's just a strain on my eyes.
Yeah, I'm with you.
So I have an iPad, and I will download the digital version of the book, and I will read the digital version. I buy the physical copy. That goes in a bag and board.
Me too.
But I have to, if I'm going to read it. Also, because just the low light conditions I read in, and again, my eyes, it just is a better way of being able to consume the book.
Now, our respective spouses hate us when we go to bed.
The big light glowing.
I know. I hear about it every night, but I have to read until 1 a.m. before I can fall asleep. All right. What is your next piece of viewer mail?
My next piece of viewer mail is from James Creed. Spider-Gwen is a dead end, in my opinion. There is a lot of speculation, sure, but she is not a viable long-term IP.
Okay. Gwen's dead again?
I have to completely disagree with you on this. I think Spider-Gwen, she has proven to be already a character that has a lot of appeal to a broad segment of the market. We have gotten spoofs of the character. It's really funny because Spider-Gwen is, I don't want to call her a spoof, but it's a version of Gwen Stacy from the original Spider-Man line. She has a character, a derivative character, which is Gwenpool. And then just recently, there is a whole series based on the multiverse and different versions, different combinations of Gwen and Thor and Wolverine and a variety of different characters. I really think she is that perfect demographic female, just like Miles is a perfect demographic male. They fit into a character categorization that Marvel really wants to tap into because there is so much interest in it. And while I can feel you in thinking that she's not necessarily she's not a daredevil in terms of being a deep character, but I think her popularity is going to guarantee her a place at the table for her own movie at some point. She's definitely going to be in the Into the Spider-Verse movies that are coming up, but I could see her having her own property. I could see maybe live action versions of her. No, to me, it's just from a marketing standpoint, Marvel has got a gold mine on their hands with Spider-Gwen.
Do you remember when, well, you were more of a DC guy growing up, but when we were kids, we used to make fun of DC comics because Superman, what's going on over there? Supergirl, Superboy, Super Horse, Crypto the Super Dog, Streaky the Cat, Super Cat, Comet the Super Horse, Titano the Super Ape.
Yeah.
Stupid. There's only one Spider-Man. Oh, how the wheels have turned.
Yeah. Yes, there is an infinite number of Spider-Men now.
I wonder if the kids are reading DC going, Spider-Man's so stupid. There's Spider-Gwen, Silk, Miles Morales.
No, it's like I said, I think she has a lot of appeal to a variety of readers. And it's a proven track record. It's not like she's just coming off the turnip truck.
Let me repeat my comment from last week's show. Just because you guys are throwing a rod for Gwen Stacy doesn't mean she's going to be a viable character.
I think because people are throwing a rod, she's going to be a viable character.
I just want an excuse to say that. All right. My last piece of viewer mail is from Ricardo Nobre, who writes, big fan of the channel and the content you guys bring to the community. Well, thank you. My question is regarding your thoughts on the Canto series. I know news broke in April last year regarding the series being optioned. The series in general has a lower print run, and it's my understanding that shipments were plagued with damages, absolutely, making it more difficult to find high-grade copies. That's why Canto #1 first print 9.8s are impossible. That's big, thick stock on the cover, and they had dents all from shipping. So
they had those monkeys from the old luggage commercial actually handled.
The Samsonite gorilla?
Yeah.
Wow. The news of the option obviously caused the book to spike tremendously. I know options come and go, but my worry is that the production company that went ahead with the option belongs to Will and Jada Smith. And there is a certain amount of backlash and canceling occurring with projects involving them recently. Why? What happened? Did I miss something?
John, I can slap you.
I'm wondering what your thoughts are, if you feel this will doom any existing Canto project, and what in turn that would mean for the long-term value of this book. In short, sell or hold. I feel bad for the writer David Borer. This is probably something he did not ever imagine he would be involved in any way, shape, or form, no matter how tangentially. But here we are. The slap heard around the world may affect the value of your Canto #1. That's what we call the butterfly effect, folks.
I have to own up. I've not read Canto. I know
It's
of
fun.
it.
Yeah,
Is it? Okay.
I'm sure people roll their eyes at this. It's like Bone almost, that kind of whimsical yet accessible kids and adult kind of thing.
Okay. But it is hard to come by a high grade. I would stick with it. While we've got fallout because of the whole incident, I still think it's proven to be a popular title, and those 9.8s of that #1 are just impossible to come by.
I agree with Richard. Hold. Do not sell. Don't panic sell. I think options run out. And what you can do, what IDW is doing, is they just keep going. Miniseries after miniseries, keep the property alive, keep it out there. If 5 years from now that option runs out, let's think about it. They've already had a year of it run out, so you only got another 3 years to sit to see if you can get it optioned again, especially if you keep publishing and you take the story into new and exciting places. Anything's possible.
Yeah, I know it's tainted by the whole aspect, but really, I mean, I I hope that the book itself and the property itself doesn't get punished for the actions of one immature man.
I mean, I have alopecia. I haven't slapped anybody. I don't have alopecia. All right. What's your last piece of viewer mail?
My last piece is from Seth Chapman. I would definitely add to the DC list Firestorm #1, the first appearance of Firestorm. For such a big DC character, this book has never gotten the attention it deserves. You can pick up Raws for under $50 a day or all day, and you can get a 9/4 slab for under $200. Seems really low for a Bronze Age first appearance of a character that has so many solo runs. I absolutely agree with you. I think Firestorm is an awesome character and completely undervalued. One of my undervalued books that I picked a while ago was Firestorm #1, one of his solo series, not the first one. And then I was picking up the books for for $1 a piece, 9.8 candidates, just because they were just so undervalued. But I think the character itself is an awesome character. You've seen them in the animated movies. I hope to see them see Firestorm in one of the live action properties at some point. So absolutely pick it up. If you come across it, it's still affordable, and that's the best time to buy it.
I think the things hurting Firestorm, if there are any at the moment, not being published currently in any form. Who is Firestorm now? Is it back to Ronnie Raymond and Professor Stein? I don't know. Do you guys know? Don't look it up. Tell me off the top of your head. No Googling. He's not in the Justice League anymore. He's not even in Teen Titans anymore. But it was the most Marvel book DC published when it came out. It was the only DC book I read because it was like a Marvel book. Pat Broderick and Jerry Conway. That and then New Teen Titans with George Perez, God rest his soul, left us this week, and Marv Wolfman. Those were the two Marvel books that DC was publishing in the Marvel style. And I think people of a certain age have fondness for Firestorm. I don't know if anybody under the age of 30 gives a crap.
Really? Well, I guess you're right. Yeah.
Done for me lately, Firestorm.
You're right. I'm looking at it as a collector from the 80s.
Yeah.
And Firestorm was an ever-present character back in those days. But yeah, so recently there isn't any appearance, but you know what? Maybe that's a great time to buy.
Yeah.
Because DC is going to pull from their catalog at some point, and I think it's a great character.
It's always been a character that has struggled. The first run lasted 5 issues. The second run got to the 65 or so, where they had to completely reboot it to get rid of Ron Raymond and Professor Stein and make him a fire elemental. He wasn't even them anymore. He was like Swamp Thing. It became this almost mature Vertigo type book that limped along for another 30 or so issues till it got canceled with issue 100. They rebooted him under another identity. I can't even remember the name of the new Firestorm. That limped along with New 52 and other things. And ever since then, it's been, which is sad because there's not many characters that were born in the 80s for DC that have lasted. Everything's a legacy character, 60s, 70s, 40s.
What about Lobo?
Lobo is one for sure. Absolutely. Okay, you named 2. Firestorm wasn't even in the 80s. Firestorm was 78.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize that was that early.
DC implosion took him out originally. So yeah, I love Firestorm. I always thought he was Nova.
Yeah.
DC's Nova. Loved drawing that costume as a kid. Boy, that thing was complicated. I love the billowy sleeves and the little nuclear explosion atom on his chest. And I studied that thing. Man, I could draw it from memory. I couldn't do it now if you held a gun to my head and forced me to do it.
How many years ago was that, John?
Oh, much more than 25 years ago, Richard, which was in 1997. And it's always our subject of the 25-year rule. Segue, Richard Brown. I love it. 25-year rule. This week, we're going to cover Catwoman and Vampirella in a book crossover title called The Furies. No, I did not say the furries. I said the Furies. Look at the art on this cover. I was going to say something else.
They know their market. Let's just put it that way.
I think I'm low on calcium looking at this cover. This was written and drawn by the regular Catwoman creative team of Chuck Dixon and Jim Ballant, who had a long run on Catwoman all through the 90s. And you got Vampirella and Catwoman. There you go. Bad girls. Hey, hey, toot toot. There they are. I don't know what to say about this book except that there's your T, there's your A, and you can get it for $7 on eBay.
Yep. I don't have anything to add, to be honest with you. I've never read this book.
I look at this book and I feel misogynistic.
Who did the cover for that?
Jim Ballant.
Okay.
I mean, my Maroon. I don't know what to say. Let's move on to our underrated books of the week. Richard, start us off.
My underrated book this week is Worlds of Fear #3 from 1952. This book to me it's all about the cover for this book. It is it's basically an African mask with oversized eyes and a menacing glare, and it's just absolutely fantastic. I think George Evans' art. Sheldon Moldoff did the cover. This is back in the era of Sodi. This is when people were still trying to determine if comic books were a danger upon the youth. But to me, this is a gorgeous golden age cover, and the book is wildly undervalued when you look at other books from this era. The GPA for a 7.0, for example, is only $840. You can get raws up on eBay for around $300. You can get a 3.5 for $300 on eBay right now, which to me, for a book of this era, is just a criminally undervalued book. So as we see other books of this genre go up in price, like Mask #1, you're going to see people start looking for other opportunities, other books of value that are still affordable. And this, to me, this is one of those books. I would pick this up if you are into that classic horror, pre-code horror style of work. This is a great introduction to that universe without breaking the bank.
I cannot believe I did not know Shelley Moldoff did that cover.
It's
That's crazy.
Gorgeous. Yeah, the colors on it are amazing. It's just a spectacular cover.
I would never have guessed it. Good pick. I'm going to make up for Catwoman and Vampirella, and I'm going to appeal to our female listeners and viewers a little bit more with my pick this week. Our female listeners and maybe every gay man that listens to this podcast, and that is Sailor Moon #1, the San Diego Comic-Con limited edition. If you don't know what Sailor Moon is, you do not have a girlfriend or a wife under the age of 30 or 35 even living near you or by you or around you. Get out, meet some people, explore the universe. Sailor Moon is a manga from Japan, which is, I guess, a little redundant. Also an animated series that has a huge fan base worldwide and here in the US. In 1998, Tokyo Pop launched an English language monthly, and they celebrated with a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive that featured a pink cardstock cover with silver ink. This book is expensive. There is currently only one CGC 9.8 on eBay right now, and it's listed for $5,900.
Holy moly. This
was a San Diego limited edition. I don't know if it was a giveaway or if you could only buy it at the Tokyo Pop booth. I'm going to guess. You're at Comic-Con, you're buying stuff, you're shoving it in your bag. You don't care. It's getting dented. It's getting mangled. 9/8 of this are tough. Now, the last sale on GPA for 9.8, the last actual sale, not asking price, was in November for $1,060. I think that was a steal because the regular edition of #1, the first printing, has a 12-month average for a 9.8 of $1,251. Did you even know this book existed, #1?
I have to say I do. I have seen the pink cover with the silver star.
I just meant Sailor Moon #1 in general. Did you know this book existed?
Because I know you, yes.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only way we would ever know this. This fan base is sleeper. It's a sleeper. Several people at WonderCon were looking for this book big time. We were looking for it. Hiram was looking for it. A bunch of people I know were looking for this book. Torpedo had a 9.8. I asked when the show opened on Thursday morning. Oh, we sold it already. You know, somebody else had a 9.8. It sold. This book was trading hands very quickly. So I tell you all this because it is underrated. I think there are, at least of the regular #1 and the run, that there's a 35 issue run from Tokyo Pop. Find them. When you find them in dollar bins and bargain bins, buy them. They're 20, 30 bucks a whack each issue. Yes. I never knew this. And so stock up on Sailor Moon when you see it, okay? Because
I wonder why all of a sudden, what I know you're at WonderCon and you were looking for this book. Why all of a sudden did you have competition for it? Was there some news about Sailor Moon?
30th anniversary this year.
Okay.
It's the 30th anniversary of Sailor Moon. There's a lot happening in Japan. There was Sailor Moon Eternal was a new 2-part movie that premiered on Netflix last year, and they just announced a sequel last week. So this book ain't going anywhere.
Yeah, that's a lot of activity. That's awesome.
You know, if you ever see someone yelling moon power makeup and making a dance move, just smile and nod. Pretend you understand what they're doing, because that's the Sailor Moon thing. All right, that is going to wrap it up for this week. Richard, where can everybody find us?
On Facebook and Instagram, they can find us at Bronze and Modern Gods. And on the website, they can find us at bronzeandmoderngods.com.
All right, make sure you like this video, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and we will see you guys next time.
Yep, everybody stay safe.